24,000 men and women who built this airline now own this airline. Come fly our friendly skies.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.
On the next outrageous episode of the news, see Detroit's latest innovation.
I put a 12-inch spike right in the middle of the steering wheel. So if you're not paying attention to the road, if your mind wanders for even 1 second, bam!
And it's a taste of American justice.
Where's your attorney?
Your Honor, I killed my lawyer and ate him, thereby forcing me to represent myself.
Don't miss the laughs on the news.
Monday night at 10:30 on Fox 68.
At Mobile, we can help you fill up fast by paying right at the pump. With more credit and ATM cards than any other station.
That's me.
So you can pull up, pump up, pay up, and still get to the church on time. Mobile, how can we help you?
The hunt begins for the most dangerous discovery of the 24th century on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Monday night at 7 on Fox 68.
There's something up there, Mulder.
Oh, I've been saying that for years.
Fox.
The following program deals with controversial subjects. The theories, opinions, and beliefs expressed are not the only possible interpretation. Viewers are invited to make a judgment based on all available information. Tonight on Encounters, the hidden truth.
Nobody really knows why these extraterrestrials are here.
Has an attempt to contact alien intelligence led to a close encounter with a UFO?
It was stationary and it was sending out the primary colors that had just been sent out by the laser.
From Washington, our team of investigators stalked the legendary Bigfoot.
I think we scared him as much as he scared us.
Have they finally captured Sasquatch with heat-sensitive radar?
Yeah, I see him.
From Georgia, kids who claim they've had close encounters.
I looked up in the trees and there was this thing floating up there.
Do the extraterrestrials have a sinister plan?
The aliens are trying to create a hybrid mix of themselves and ourselves.
From Massachusetts, during a search for a ghostly apparition, a frightening sound is captured on tape that even the experts can't explain. Is this proof of contact with the other side?
There are things beyond this. There are other dimensions.
Hello, I'm John Marshall, and welcome to Encounters, the Hidden Truth. You know, one of the most popular legends of the unexplained goes by a somewhat ridiculous nickname, Bigfoot. But behind the legend, there may lie some startling truths.
I traveled to the wilds of Washington to separate fact from conjecture, and I learned one thing. There is a good reason why this legend has endured for thousands of years. Native Americans in the Pacific Northwest called it Sasquatch. European settlers called it Bigfoot, but everyone calls it a mystery. Is it possible that the missing link between man and ape roams these dense forests? To the hundreds of eyewitnesses who have seen this huge creature, the answer is a definitive yes.
When I turned the headlights on him, I think we scared him as much as he scared us. It brought its hand up to block the light, let out a just scary scream.
We were looking at it, and our brains wouldn't register what it was because we've never seen anything like this before.
When I made eye contact with it, it was not like looking at in an animal's eyes. And even though there was some distance, it was not like looking at an animal. There was intelligence there on the other side of his eyes.
Although every one of these eyewitnesses describes a different sighting, every encounter shares one thing, the enormous size of the creature.
He was about 8 feet tall. I weighed 200 pounds at that time, and he was a good 350 to 400 pounds heavier than me. His arms were as thick as my thigh.
Eyewitness testimony may hold up in court, but science demands further evidence. And the most dramatic evidence collected to date is this film clip shot near Yakima, Washington in the fall of 1967. If it's a man in an ape suit, anthropologist Grover Krantz finds the performance brilliant, if not impossible.
I went through it frame by frame, measuring everything I could on it, what the body proportions were, and I can state flatly that there is no human being alive who can fit into a costume with the dimensions that are shown there. Well, maybe it's a man who's got his elbows out, and that's the shoulders. But then any man of that height, the elbows are much too far apart to be the shoulders. There's only one way you can do it. You get a 6.5-foot tall man, and go 1/3 out along his upper arm, break it, and introduce a new joint.
There is other evidence that Bigfoot exists. Huge footprints, hair samples, and droppings. But we decided to look for fresh evidence and maybe a first-hand encounter. We decided to go to the area with the most recent and concentrated sightings, Grays Harbor, Washington, a scenic county at the base of the Olympic Peninsula. Thickly forested, it's a place where a large animal could hide for a long time. Undaunted, we put together a team of witnesses, technical experts, and trappers to see if we couldn't capture Bigfoot on videotape.
The rough spots, I'd say, would be about halfway to where that clear cut
It's
is.
6 o'clock in the morning. The maps are being read. The strategy is being planned. This is the last step before we head into the backcountry to look for Bigfoot. The remote backwoods area we're headed for is a place where Bigfoot was spotted just 3 months ago. Our hunt is nothing new. People have been searching hundreds of years for a creature whose heritage may trace back more than 1 million.
This is the jaw of the Gigantopithecus that was found in China. This is a large adult male, and it's only the tooth-bearing part of the jaw that we have. Trying to figure out what the rest of the skull would look like, I came up with this reconstruction for the skull. This, then, is roughly what I think the Gigantopithecus entire skull would look like. And I also expect that this is approximately what a Sasquatch skull would look like.
We've made it to the end of the road. From here on out, there's nothing but nature between us and our quarry. Although some people outside the Pacific Northwest might scoff at an expedition like this, around here Bigfoot is taken very seriously. So seriously that one nearby county has declared it a crime to hunt him. If you do kill a Bigfoot there, and if it turns out he's a species closely related to man, you could face murder charges and prison time. Some people believe the only way to prove Bigfoot's existence is to kill one. But on this expedition, the only shooting will be done on video. Not that we wouldn't mind finding one that died of natural causes.
We don't believe in killing one just to prove it exists, but we hope maybe someday we'll come across skeletal remains when we're out here, or one that's recently died on its own, or something.
But animals that die of natural causes aren't easy to find.
If an animal dies on its own, it has the opportunity to choose a place where it dies. And these we virtually never find. Nobody's ever found a bear that died a natural death that I've been able to locate.
After establishing camp, we set out to scout the area for signs of the creature. Bigfoot is probably the best-known animal in the world of cryptozoology, the study of animals that are suspected but unproven.
And probably the best example of a cryptozoological animal, or cryptid, as we sometimes call them, would be the African gorilla. These were considered by the European scientists to be totally mythological beasts until the first skin and skull came into a European collection in the year 1849.
Larry Lund hunted deer and elk in the woods of the Northwest for 20 years. Then he put away his guns and set out after Bigfoot.
When we follow trails, and especially along the riverbeds, we look for anything that's out of the ordinary for the normal animals of the area. We look for footprints, droppings, large disturbed areas.
Larry spent most of his time searching for tracks along a nearby creek.
Here we have it's probably a doe track. Yeah, it is a doe track. These leaves being pressed inside it. It made me curious why they were stuck down the ground, but it is just a doe track.
He found plenty of deer and elk tracks, but nothing out of the ordinary. Meanwhile, Forester Wayne Moore and former Sheriff's Deputy Fred Bradshaw led me into the high country. Later that afternoon, we found something unusual.
You see something?
This is an impression right here. Yeah. That's a good possible right here. You got the toes, the cut edges along here for the heel. And that'd be at least a good 14-inch track.
And given what we see here, I mean, what does it tell us about the stride? How, I mean, in terms of the height, the bigness of the animal?
Well, if you allow that is a track, then you've got a 6-foot stride. And a 6-foot stride would be extraordinary.
Would it help to make a cast of this?
Yes, it would show with when you pour a casting of it, it'll pick up more of the foot impression if it is anything at all.
We use a plaster that is easy to mix and quick to harden. The entire process took about 20 minutes.
This one's not probably one of the best ones that they've ever had, but it appears that it does have toes in it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it appears to be a large one over on this side.
Maybe, but the tracks led nowhere, and a few footprints made in mossy ground were not the definitive proof we were looking for. Stalking Bigfoot is no easy game. He's proven himself to be an extremely elusive quarry. To catch him on tape, we've devised a trap that includes everything from tripwires and motion detectors to floodlights and video cameras. Now, everything is set to work automatically, but we'll also rig an alarm that will alert us to Bigfoot's presence.
We'll be back in a moment with the rest of the story.
I could go for
Call for a large 2-topping, crunchy, thin crust pizza and get a medium 1-topping pizza free.
The beach can kill your hair. The sun, the wind, the sand, they really dry it out. That's why I use Per Plus Dry Damaged. It's extra conditioning without the fuss.
That's because it has 2 conditioners. One conditions all over, the second goes straight to the damaged spots for soft, manageable hair.
The beach is hard on your hair, but nobody has to know.
Per Plus shampoo and conditioner in one.
Great hair, no fuss.
I smoke, but at many sporting events, it doesn't play. No problem. I just chew Wrigley Spearmint Gum with such a cool, clean taste. It's something everyone can agree on. So when I can't smoke, I share some pure chewing satisfaction.
There are 2 important questions to ask when choosing a pain reliever. Does it work fast, and how long will the relief last? For minor arthritis, Advil works directly at the site of pain. It's fast, and Advil provides hour after hour of pain relief. In fact, nothing's been proven to last longer than Advil. Next time you have sore muscles, a backache, or minor arthritis pain, remember, nothing's been proven to last longer than Advil. Advanced medicine for pain.
Before he was the specialist, Sylvester Stallone was in the mother of all action comedies. When this tough L.A. cop teams up with his mommy, the crooks don't stand a chance. Sylvester Stallone and Estelle Getty. Stop.
I'm on mobile, shoot!
Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Sasquatch researcher Todd Nice staked out a rock quarry near our base camp.
Bigfoot purportedly has been seen digging up rodents on a couple of occasions.
First, he laid bait.
But if we had it in one piece, it'd probably be gone in 2 seconds, but if we break it up, it gives them a reason to hang around a little bit.
The strategy here is to lure the creature within range of our infrared sensors and floodlights.
It's my hope that the shock of the lights may give us an extra 10-15 second filling time.
He also set traps in the forest nearby.
Immediately around my bivouac site, I will have some tripwires, which will also set off a high-pitched beep should we get anything right in the campsite itself.
Yet another kind of trap would illuminate any large animal entering the area. The Native Americans who lived in these forests were very familiar with the creature. Physical anthropologists studied the stone carvings they left behind.
It's not any of the animals that's normally encountered in the area because the Indians carved representations of all the animals that we know. This one appears to be ape-like. The only explanation that anyone's been able to come up with is whoever carved this was familiar with the face of something like a Sasquatch.
When an alarm sounded later that evening, Todd was there within seconds.
Something definitely hit it, because when I found it, it was pulled up here. Something had to have struck this trip line pretty good.
pretty elusive, whatever it was.
The rest of the night was a waiting game. Ultimately, it became clear that no one was taking our bait. But the hunt wasn't over yet.
It's now 5:30 in the morning, and we're about to catch up with the linchpin of our operation. It's a Bell Jet Ranger helicopter, specially equipped with infrared heat-seeking instruments. If Bigfoot is anywhere near here, the chopper will detect his body heat. The crew will then radio us of his position and continue to track him from the air until we can catch up with him.
Are the ground conditions cool enough for you down here? Are there any problems with that?
Yeah, this is optimum conditions for infrared.
Coordinating their movements with the team on the ground, the helicopter crew covers a 25-square-mile grid. Any warm-blooded animal in the area should register on the cockpit monitor. At first, the woods look empty, but a few minutes out, we see a warm area in the brush where a large creature seems to have been bedded down for the night. It can't be far away. And then we spot something alive in the underbrush. It looks tall, and it's huge. The remainder of our aerial search uncovers plenty of elk, but no evidence of Bigfoot. But that doesn't necessarily mean he isn't out here.
Obviously, if the animal is well hidden, the infrared can't pick them up in a cave or under a very dense tree cover.
If Bigfoot does live in the thousands of square miles of forest that make up the Pacific Northwest, we'll need more resources to spot him. But our trip wasn't for nothing.
When you're dealing with this type of phenomenon, you're not seeking final answers. You're seeking increments in the puzzle, small pieces, small bits. And consequently, anything that you develop is more than you had before.
Encounters will be right back.
When we return, children who claim they've seen UFOs.
I looked up in the trees and there's this thing floating up there.
Are they also the victims of sinister alien abduction?
It's like if some man would come in your house and take your child.
Hi, welcome to Subway.
Subway isn't like those fancy New York steakhouses. No stuffy maitre d' or jackets required.
Great vest. Thanks.
But we do have A1 steak sauce. It's on Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Slices of tender, juicy steak topped with the great taste of A1, plus all the fresh fixings you like. And at Subway, you don't get a big bill. You get change. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Appetites are required. Jackets aren't.
A mature look at breakfast.
Hold on there, Hotfoot. You gotta eat. I'm waiting.
Always bolting out without breakfast?
Will you relax?
How about trying the big, ripe, sweet taste of Kellogg's Cherry Pop-Tarts?
The nectar of the gods.
Hot and fast from the toaster.
You love cherries.
Listen to the voice of maturity. They're good.
Isn't that better?
Real good, real fast.
Life is just a bowl of cherries. But skipping breakfast is a pit.
When the music's over, so's the party. That's why Magnavox makes a great-sounding mini-system that plays 7 CDs for over 8 hours of non-stop music. Hey, we make technology people want. Magnavox. Smart. Very smart.
Pringles Light has become Pringles Right Crisps. Still a third less fat, and now better taste than this. That's right! Got new Pringles Right Crisps! That's right! Less fat and better taste than this! Right. Better taste than let's grease the Bruce Right tasty! That's right! It's not a chip off slam on Pringles Right Crisps, the taste of here! Pringles Right Crisps, the taste of here!
Jane's new boyfriend is making his move.
You're decent under that dress.
On her sister. And daytime's hottest star moves into Melrose Place one day. What can you say about Charlie Salinger?
Nothing phases him. What the hell is going on here? I slept for like 24 hours a day. Charlie, if you got a minute? Not now, Betty. No one has a bad thing to say about Charlie.
Well, you're full of crap, Charlie. You know that.
I think I'd like to meet him.
Great.
Get to know Charlie on a brand new Party of 5 Monday.
Taking a video can be a real hassle.
How about this? 4 weddings and a funeral.
That's kind of like 5 of the same thing, isn't it?
But when it's Al's turn to choose...
My favorite, Booty and the Beast.
You won't believe what he finds. Marcy! Married with children.
It's not what you think.
That's good, because I think I'm going to heat.
A brand new episode tonight on Fox.
An ideal UFO witness would have good eyesight, no financial agenda for making a story up, and no preconceptions. For these reasons, reliable UFO witnesses are not always easy to find.
You know, John, that's true, but maybe people have been looking in the wrong places. Recently, as part of our ongoing investigation, Encounters went looking in the right place and spoke with children who are convinced they saw a UFO. Here's our story. For more than 4 decades, children have been reporting UFO sightings. These wide-eyed observers offer a unique perspective on this unusual phenomenon.
And it came this way. And then first it was going real slow, and then it just took off. Boom.
There's 2 of them up there. Hold on. Look at them. Flashing. They're flashing.
Hampton, Georgia, is a small town near Atlanta.
Hello.
It was in this well-kept trailer park that a group of ordinary school children encountered a UFO. What'd you see?
I looked up at the trees, and there was this thing floating up there.
I saw something up there, and I didn't quite know what it was. And I asked Shannon, I said, what is that? And she said she don't know. And I hollered at Chris.
She jumped up and said UFO, so I jumped up. And I looked, and I saw something black. It was hovering right over the building, but it was real high in the sky. So it hovered right across the over in the sky and over to the radio tower.
You're screaming.
You were screaming?
Yeah.
I just sort of, I screamed a little bit, but I just sort of was in shock when I never seen anything like it.
This incident was investigated by Michael Norris, an Air Force veteran and chief editor of UFO Encounters. Now, this craft that they described, is this a craft that you've had reportings of before in this area?
What's interesting is when we started to report about this particular sighting, and we actually published some of the pictures and drawings that the children had made, I got some calls from people from other parts of the country saying, you know, we've seen this come up before. We have people who say they've also described this same shape, size, with the lights. But yet, when you go to officials, whether the FAA or your military bases or the airports, there's nothing in conventional aircraft that we know of that could explain what it is they saw.
The UFO vanished within seconds, but these children will feel the effects of this encounter for a very long time, and more than one will bear the scars of public ridicule. So when you walked into the school and you saw the principal and the teachers laughing at the children's experience, how did you feel?
Made me mad. Made me very mad. I saw that principal laughing at those kids and joking around, and I asked him, I said, look at these kids. Can't you tell by looking at them there's something wrong?
Sighting a UFO and being ridiculed for reporting it is upsetting enough for a child. What's far worse is a close encounter of a different kind, alien abduction. Justin, a 10-year-old living in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, describes his first alien encounter.
I fell asleep, and then I woke up a little bit later early in the morning, and I saw these gray beings. And I was just laying there. Then I felt like a device, something around my wrists, my neck, and my ankle.
For children who've always relied on adults to protect them, these encounters can be traumatic, but kids aren't the only ones affected. Their parents suffer just as much from feelings of helplessness and fear. Having your child abducted is terrifying no matter who or what is doing it.
It's like any other abduction, If some man or some guy with a ski mask would come in your house and take your child, the only difference between your child and mine is mine comes back.
Now, Sandra, you'll have to admit that most children have pretty active imaginations, and you put that together with all the TV they watch.
John, that may be true to some degree, but it's wrong to assume that children would go out of their way to make these kinds of stories up. In fact, joining us tonight are 3 cases in point. They are members of the UFO Investigators and Other Strange Phenomenon Club, all the way from Virginia. They are Wesley Frank, Jonathan Pine, and Kevin Trobaugh. Welcome. Now, you just saw a story. Those children sighted a UFO, told their friends at school, and were ridiculed. They were laughed at. Do you guys believe in UFOs?
Oh, yeah.
If you do see a UFO, what do you do as investigators?
We asked people of that area where we saw it if they saw the same thing.
What do you say to kids who say, oh, you're making it all up? Kevin?
Well, maybe they don't believe in UFOs, but we do, and we think we saw one. So, like, we tell them, and if they don't believe us, they don't believe us.
Right. What about you, Wesley?
If I believe there's, like, UFOs and stuff, then that's all that matters to me.
Well, keep looking at the skies. We're glad that you care, and good luck with your investigations. We'll be right back.
Coming up next.
Nobody really knows why these extraterrestrials are here.
Has an attempt to contact alien intelligence led to a close encounter with a UFO?
It was stationary, and it was sending out the primary colors that had just been sent out by the laser.
I couldn't believe it. My dentist said, Ted, you've got tartar. I said, but I brush. I even rinse and floss. And still my teeth aren't clean? She said, Ted, all that's great, but to fight tartar better, you can't brush with regular toothpaste. Use the right toothpaste, Tartar Control Crest.
Even if you rinse and floss, if you don't use a Tartar Control toothpaste for your tartar problem, your teeth aren't as clean as they could be. Use Tartar Control Crest.
I used Tartar Control Crest, and my next visit was great.
Tartar Control Crest.
Now that's something to smile about.
Let's play Coca-Cola Monsters of the Gridiron. The challenger, Chris Weiss. His opponent, Emmett Lone Star Sheriff Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. Chris goes left.
I wouldn't go that way.
The kid fakes right.
You're mine.
He goes up the middle. Touchdown!
Me. Right back. Yeah.
Bring home specially marked Coca-Cola products. Collect monster trading cards and play Monsters of the Gridiron. You could win Super Bowl tickets or one of 8 million prizes.
You're next.
Billy, it's not right to play the trumpet in the fishbowl. Billy, it's not nice to put Mr. Frog on Sarah's head. That's enough. Oh, Billy, please don't play with the paint jar.
Sometimes you just need a Milky Way dark with wholesome milk, creamy caramel, and luscious dark chocolate. Nothing smooths your way so deliciously from one part of life to the next.
Tommy, I don't think so.
Day after day, nothing smooths your way like a Milky Way.
George is back.
Hey, George, looking good.
Up yours. And he's in for the shock of his life.
I'm your son.
You can't be my son. How old are you?
25.
Well, I'm 31. It's biologically impossible.
The George Carlin Show.
You've got underwear that's 31 years old.
Season premiere tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Central after Married with Children.
At Chevrolet, we feel everyone, regardless of income, deserves a safe car. That's why we equip the all-new Lumina LS with dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, side guard door beams, child security rear door locks. Sure, anyone can build a car like this. That's easy. We build it so most people can afford it. That's genuine Chevrolet.
Okay, look over here, guys.
Pretty sharp there, Ben.
There he is.
Here comes the bus. Okay, big boy.
Maybe you better take care of Bear.
Have you ever wondered what you would do if you saw a UFO? Would you have the presence of mind to observe closely, or would you take off in the opposite direction?
Well, the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence knows what they would do. This motto could be taken from the Boy Scouts. Be prepared.
Flying saucers have invaded our planet.
Washington, London, Paris, Moscow are key targets. The whole world is under attack.
In the 1950s, visitors from outer space had a straightforward agenda: mass destruction, planetary enslavement, and the equal opportunity employment of nasty death rays. But yesterday's bug-eyed monsters are today's extraterrestrials. And eyewitnesses believe that the day of alien contact is drawing near, if it already hasn't occurred.
I'm convinced that there is a small faction within our government that has been grappling for nearly 50 years with the problem of eventual disclosures of alien contact on this planet. I think they've been in possession of information that has convinced them that aliens or non-human intelligence has reached this planet quite some time ago.
Dr. Stephen Greer isn't waiting for the government to issue him an extraterrestrial passport. He is the head of the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or CSETI. This organization is getting ready for an event they feel is inevitable: the day we first make contact.
Preparing people for this kind of contact, the human dimension is the most difficult one. We were in England in 1992, and we were able to vector one of these objects. It was a large 150-foot diameter disc with a dome or cupola on top. You know, God is my witness, this is an extraordinary event. But when you've locked on, you have signaled to it, it has signaled back, it's changed course, and it's coming in towards you. This is when you realize that, my God, they see us, and they're coming.
Dr. Greer founded CSETI in 1990. Over the years, they have refined their stated mission.
Trying to establish contact with the life forms on board these objects. And this is very important. CSETI really isn't interested in the UFOs. We're interested in the occupants or the intelligence or the beings behind the UFOs.
All of CSETI's efforts have one ultimate intention:
to try to get one to land and eventually, if possible, to get a boarding party on board one of these objects.
Encounters asked CSETI if they would take us on one of their UFO expeditions, and they agreed. Before we left, we met with their team of human ambassadors.
We're all excited about it. Just be careful, you know.
Caroline O'Patry is excited. She believes there is a chance she will make direct contact with extraterrestrials, but she plans on taking things one step at a time.
The game plan is, should there be a sighting and should we be locked on in such a way that the ETI would choose to land and make contact with us, we would be ready to do so. I guess I should take my own flashlight just in case. And I don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's so hot now, but I probably better take my heavy coat.
She has learned to put her fears aside and approach contact with an open mind.
Whatever you fear or revere, you draw to you. So I don't want to come from fear. Come, be peaceful. You will attract peaceful entities. And what's exciting about CSETI to me is this repeated philosophy of non-hostility, of being diplomats for peace, of being a liaison with humankind and extraterrestrial intelligence.
Encounters will be right back.
Dear Aquafresh, my teeth were so sensitive.
The pain was awful. Aquafresh Sensitive targets the problem, soothing the nerve to help stop the pain.
No more pain.
And great fresh taste.
Aquafresh Sensitive soothes the nerve, helps stop the pain.
Have you ever checked out of a supermarket?
Will that be all today?
Yes, it will. Thank you. A whole cart at a time.
75, Come on, Jeremy.
Put your heads together.
Yes, Dr. Mullen. I see a slight teariness.
When you're not together.
And you recommend immobilization?
I see no need for surgery.
See? Or gotten a phone call. Hello. On your wrist.
How was your day?
Just beautiful. You will. And the company that'll bring it to you, AT&T.
Hi, welcome to Subway.
Subway isn't like those fancy New York steakhouses. No stuffy maitre d' or jackets required.
Great vest. Thanks.
But we do have A1 steak sauce. It's on Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Slices of tender, juicy steak topped with the great taste of A1. Plus all the fresh fixings you like. And at Subway, you don't get a big bill. You get change. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Appetites are required. Jackets aren't.
By drinking orange juice, you can do something good for your body every morning. Even on those days you're just not able to exercise. 100% pure Florida orange juice. To your health.
This Thursday's Martin has it all.
What the hell is going on?
Gina moves into Martin's place.
Girl, you shouldn't be carrying this. Nah, let the moving man get that.
Shanae gets a new look.
It's me, Shanae.
And you'll finally meet Cole's girlfriend, Big Shirley.
That's my baby.
All on a brand new Martin, Thursday at 8/7 Central. In space, no one can hear you say, "Don't!" Hang on for an out-of-this-world adventure.
The only danger is if they send us to that terrible planet of the apes.
Homer in space.
Hey, guys, look what I smuggled aboard.
Homer, no! On The Simpsons, coming up next.
Load it up and have a ball. Pontiac Transport's got it all.
The roominess and convenience of flexible seating. Count 'em, two built-in child seats. Pontiac's exclusive power sliding door. Touch the button and let it slide. And the safety of standard airbag and anti-lock brakes.
Pontiac Transport, it's got it all.
Said he wants the government to release all information about alien encounters.
The idea behind Project Starlight is to brief leaders in society and to encourage them to try to bring out the definitive evidence which we believe exists and to finally confirm the fact that we have detected extraterrestrial life forms.
Why would the government cover up alien contact? I think they're coming from a mentality that arose in the mid-40s when we actually believed we were being invaded from space. We couldn't handle the technology we were seeing, but the government would try to keep this secret until they could understand the nature of their challenge. And today, we have 50 years of momentum that's very hard to break.
What we do not have is anyone in an important position in government saying the U.S. government has this knowledge, and we're officially declaring an interest in this and want to share this with the public. Several of us are urging the Clinton administration to review that policy.
Meanwhile, emotions were high as we reached our contact site.
Gosh, this is a great location. How did you happen to have chosen it?
It's an open area, meaning that you have good visibility of the sky. And in addition to that, we've got some good areas where we can land out, put out landing beacons.
Everyone has arrived here at Topanga Canyon, and there's a real sense of excitement in the air. The Seasteady members are preparing their laser lights, audio equipment, telescopes, and binoculars, and in a few minutes, we'll start signaling. If we're lucky, something out there just may answer our call.
So what we're going to do is project these tones with a radio transceiver. Please put out the landing strobes.
We waited for hours, sending out tones and laser light beacons into the darkness. Then suddenly, someone spotted a strange light. But before we could turn on our camera, it disappeared. But moments later, it reappeared on the horizon.
Oh, there it is again.
Back again.
There it is again.
Very bright colors, the same one, the same red and green the laser was putting out. Oh my God. This is no airplane. At 9:45, we have an object about 5 degrees above the ridge in the west that was probably out over the Pacific Ocean. It was stationary, and it was sending out the primary colors that had just been sent out by the laser. And we've got a commercial jet pilot with us, and this is very unusual.
Did we or did we not see something?
Yeah, that was.
And how rare is that?
It happens virtually every time we go out if we're doing the right stuff.
Preston, did we have a close encounter tonight?
I think we may have. Now, this sort of thing has happened before. And, of course, we prefer to call them unknowns unless we're up close in a metallic ship. That would be a different story. But nevertheless, it's exciting, and I'm pleased.
This is your first time?
What was it? This is my first time with this. Oh, it's excellent. I want to stay here all night. I don't want to leave. I want to see what that was over there.
We saw something tonight. We don't know what it was, but as long as human beings claim to be meeting extraterrestrials, CSETI will be trying to make contact.
Most of us already know that we're not alone in the universe. This is simply a step further where we're saying, not only are we not alone, but those life forms that may be out there, a few of them have made their way into our corner of the universe.
Sandra, I am very curious. Do you really think you saw a UFO?
Well, John, I saw something flying, and nobody can identify it, so I guess you'd have to say I did see a UFO. Unfortunately, the videotape really didn't do our encounter justice.
Our analysis of this intriguing footage will continue, and Encounters will be back in a moment.
I smoke, but at many fast food restaurants, it's not on the menu. So I've got an order of my own, Wrigley Spearmint Gum. It's got a cool, clean taste that everyone enjoys. So when I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
I never thought I'd say this. I love my hair. Spiral waves, Sicilian, forget furries. New Ogilvy Spiral Waves, the only home perm made only for spiral girls. It conditions, it has automatic timing, it shuts itself off. This stuff has brains. New Ogilvy Spiral Waves perm. Don't you just love it when you get exactly what you want?
Lysol spray use number 111. That slimy stuff in the recycling bin. Lysol disinfectant spray. There's nothing this can't do.
I'm a real people. I get along with people. I just love people.
I'm a self-starter. When I start, by myself.
I got brains I haven't even used yet.
I'm monolingual.
I'm a sponge.
Information knowledge?
With the high-tech skills you learn in the Navy, when it comes time for you to say something on an interview.
I have an extensive background in avionics and electronics. I'm computer literate, and I'm pretty good with people.
You'll actually have something to say. For more information, call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
I could go for a pizza.
Gotta be now. Call for a large, 2-topping, crunchy, thin crust pizza and get a medium 1-topping pizza free.
Remember 50 years of soaps and All-Star Celebration, Thursday.